Now, while I was in prayer, the Lord also showed me, and He told me, pray for the feast days of Christians. The Christians' feast days. What are the feast days? Pray for your Christmas, pray for your Easter, and pray for your Thanksgiving days. Pray for days of ingathering. Pray for days where you gather together, because the enemy is plotting violence on Christian feast days.
Terror in the heart of Washington, D.C., just 2 blocks from the White House.
This is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen.
Video captured the moments police and National Guard troops subdued a suspect while a few feet away performing CPR on someone who's down.
Suspect came around the corner. He immediately started firing a firearm at the 2 National Guard members.
2 National Guard troops shot. NBC Washington reports one is a male guardsman, the other a female, both from West Virginia in critical condition.
There were other National Guard members that were in the area. They heard the gunfire. They actually were able to intervene and to kind of hold down the suspect after he had been shot on the ground until law enforcement got there within moments.
West Virginia's governor posting, "Our prayers are with the brave service members, their families, and the entire Guard community." NBC's Andrea Mitchell was nearby.
I was about half a block away, heard sirens. People were running in the opposite direction. I came over, talked to a woman. She said she was in an Uber, heard 2 loud booms. She did not see the alleged shooter or the incident itself, but all of a sudden, police, Secret Service started congregating right at this corner.
I definitely heard 2 boom booms. I saw the children running. I saw the adults running.
President Trump not in the White House, but in Mar-a-Lago for Thanksgiving, writing on Truth Social, the animal that shot the 2 National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded and now in separate hospitals, is also severely wounded, but regardless, will pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. It was last May when President Trump ordered National Guard troops into D.C. to assist police in bringing down violent crime.
The enemy is targeting these days because he wants to desecrate the memory of these days. So pray for Christmas, pray for Easter, pray for the Thanksgiving days, pray for all the times that you celebrate Christ and the kingdom in the year. Pray for these days. This is what the Lord is saying to us.
First, to breaking news from America tonight, as 2 members of the National Guard have been shot in Washington, close to the White House. Now, the suspect is severely wounded and in custody. Sarah Smith has the very latest.
Police surrounded the scene as we can see someone being loaded into an ambulance. 2 members of the National Guard were shot on this busy street in central Washington, just 2 blocks away from the White House. Both of the guardsmen are said to have been critically injured. The suspected gunman was shot at the scene and is in custody in hospital. The Vice President was addressing U.S. troops in Kentucky when he got the news.
But apparently there was a shooting outside the White House just a couple of hours ago. And we're still learning everything. We still don't know the motive. There's a lot that we haven't yet figured out. But what we do know is that a couple of National Guardsmen were injured in the line of duty.
The gunman is said to have been severely wounded, and there is now an extensive investigation underway.
I heard 2 shots. It's boom, boom. Then after that,
3 more.
boom, 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 boom.
3 more came.
Yeah.
Like a high-power rifle.
Oh, this is big fight.
Yeah, it was loud.
The FBI chief praised the swift response from law enforcement.
President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice.
2,000 National Guard troops have been stationed in Washington for the last 4 months, and it has just been announced an extra 500 will be deployed to the city. Sarah Smith, BBC News, Washington.
Tom Bateman is live there for us now. Tom, just bring us up to date with the latest.
Well, witnesses, as we arrived here, Clive, shortly after the shooting, described a scene of utter panic. Remember, we're just a block from the White House here. This was mid-afternoon. People spoke to me about racing from the scene as they heard a burst of gunfire break out, some people fleeing for shelter in a liquor store nearby. Now, we have had an update, as you heard there, from Kash Patel of the FBI and other authorities in the last half an hour. They described this as a gunman coming around the corner from a metro station and, in their words, ambushing 2 National Guard troops in what they have described as a targeted attack. Now, of course, their investigation is in a very initial stage, but they will be taking into account the fact that the deployment of National Guard troops into American cities by President Trump has been a highly contentious political move, and that coming in the environment also of growing political violence in this country. But the authorities, to be clear, were asked about any motive, and at this stage they have given no response to that question.